to another video. Today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite things that I've been working on so far this year, my practice tree live streaming setup. And so many of you guys have been asking questions like, this setup is insane, tell me more. I'm going to be diving into all of the details today. Stay tuned. Alright guys, let's get it started off with just taking a look at the actual structure of this cockpit unit here. Starting off with the framework. This thing is made out of 80/20 extruded aluminum. 8020.net is the website you're going to go to get yourself this T-slotted extruded aluminum pieces and all of the necessary brackets that you're going to want. They have millions of options. The possibilities are literally endless. Their slogan is the Industrial Erector Set. It is awesome stuff. I'm super excited with how it turned out. It's expensive, but it's super nice. You guys, I'm gonna have these sitting in my basement all the time. I wanted them to be nice. I wanted them to be lightweight. And I wanted them to be flexible and easy to change and configure in different ways. I actually have two of them set up here. This one is one that I kind of loosely put together. This is my daughter's junior dragster, if you can't tell. That pink seat, that pink seat sits right there. But anyways, I went with the black anodization on mine just for the aesthetic that I was going for. The seat is 100% custom designed and manufactured. This seat is made out of sheet metal, powder coated black. It's designed to be the exact same dimensions of the interior of my actual race car. So I have two of these seats as well. The other one's in the back room, but so that I can set up two of these rigs side by side, say if my old man comes over or if, you know, COVID ever ends and I can get actual people on site that we could do little competitions or something like that, I actually could set up two of these. But this seat is made out of 12 gauge mild steel, so it's fairly heavy. It's definitely the heaviest part of the equation, but it just would have been so expensive to make that out of aluminum. So there's quite the fabrication process that actually went into making these seats. It's all laser cut, and then you had to roll the corner pieces, of course press break all of the bends, and then weld everything together, powder coat it. So it took a while to put these seats together, but I'm really happy with how they turned out, and they, like I said, are exactly the same feel as my actual race car. My plan is to actually get the inside of these seats upholstered and actually have a nice little pad in the bottom. I just haven't gotten that far yet, so right now I have like a folded up bathroom rug. It's been washed, but that's what we got so far. There's a bunch of other trick pieces on the framework. This is a custom laser cut sheet metal shelf just for having the mouse and of course the stream controller on. Over here I actually have another little shelf that I made on a hinge for having the keyboard on, so if I want to get the keyboard out of the way I can do that. Otherwise, if I need it, I just swing it right over. I got my keyboard, can run everything I need on the stream. Pretty slick. The way the next gen is mounted on here is pretty cool because this is actually a 3D printed custom design part that I made. It's pretty cool because the 3D printer is definitely the coolest piece of technology and the newest piece of technology that I currently have access to. So this turned out really good. I figured making this out of sheet metal would have just been overkill, plus it could have potentially scratched up the next gen. I didn't want to do that. This is a very hands-on piece of it, so I didn't want any sharp edges or anything like that. The 3D printer was able to just make this thing awesome. I really like how this turned out. Still have access to all of the ports, and it holds the next gen very securely. The steering wheel is a standard D-shape 10-inch dragster steering wheel. I believe this one is made by Grant. Made myself a little custom sheet metal piece to match the exact dimensions of the steering wheel plate that's actually in my race car. I'm using a Biondo 00 trans brake button, which is my favorite trans brake button. And then this piece right here is another custom 3D printed part. More about this later. I've been doing some prototyping with this, and I have a whole bunch of ideas and different things that well, there it goes. More information about this in future videos, but this is pretty cool. Since we mentioned the trans brake button, let's move over to the actual hardware that runs the practice tree. Of course, that is the Eliminator Next Gen, which you see here. This is my favorite all-time tabletop practice tree. Highly recommend it. Some of my favorite things about this practice tree is just the ability to change out auto start settings, as well as the ability to use push mode or Z-force mode. A lot of you guys know I push the trans brake button instead of push, hold, release. I have a lot of videos, I'll link those down in the description about that on this channel, but this practice tree right here gives the ability to practice in that way, so that is huge for me. Definitely one of my favorite all-time tabletop size practice trees just to use as a standalone unit. Of course, here today we have it hooked up to the full-size national event tree in the back corner. This full-size national event tree is one of my favorite things in my house, for sure. I love this thing, you guys. There's nothing like being able to practice and look into a bulb that is exactly what you're going to be looking at on the racetrack. This is huge for me. I love this thing. The exact same bulbs that you're looking at on the racetrack, the same exact dimensions. It's a full-size national event style Christmas tree, and you can get one for your basement. It's awesome. I've coupled it with a 2-inch display up top for displaying the reaction times. That's a really nice thing to have as well. Of course, I wanted to have a really trick way to mount it, so you can't really see back there, but I made a custom sheet metal part that kind of mounts that thing up on top of the tree. I think you got to have it mounted up on top. It's just so convenient, easy to look at, and it just looks cool. So I mentioned that these are the exact bulbs that you'll be looking at the racetrack, and I'm not lying about it because these bulbs are freaking bright, you guys. These are made for outdoor in the sunshine use, and so down here in my basement, they're exceedingly bright. Like, some people have suggested that you actually like use some window tint or get something inside of there to actually tone down the brightness a little bit of these bulbs. I might still do that, but what I have done now to combat the excessive brightness issue is I actually have the bulb turned away from me a little bit, so I'm not looking directly like straight onto it, which I find that you don't typically do exactly straight on at the racetrack anyways. So like when I'm looking at the bulb, it's more like this instead of like this, and that actually helped the brightness situation a lot. Additionally, I also incorporated some super bright front lighting for this setup. I have everything kind of set up on this overhead suspension system. I have 2 super bright panels that I'm shining on the tree, and I also needed a way to mount my camera, so I have that up here as well. And since we're starting to talk about cameras, let's dive into the actual streaming setup just a little bit. I have 3 camera angles that I use when I stream with this rig, and 2 of them are just simply GoPros. This is a GoPro Hero 7 Black, so this is the actual tree cam that's happening over here. Just have constant power to it, as well as a mini HDMI out that gets converted to USB, and then it goes over to my laptop. I have a second GoPro mounted to the shelf behind me here, which gives you kind of the forward facing view that you see in the streams. Again, GoPro Hero 7 Black, same setup, just mounted behind me when I'm sitting in the rig. Of course, then the main camera is the one that I currently have in my hand, but it is typically mounted up to this tripod right here, and it's the forward-facing camera that I'm talking to. It's my big camera, it's my main vlog camera, and of course I have all the cords and adapters and everything to be able to stream with that, but that's the forward-facing camera to give me the 3 angles that I typically use when streaming with this setup. For audio, I'm using a Blue Yeti X microphone attached to one of these blue radius suspension mounts, and then I believe the arm is called the Compass. It's really nice to just have the flexibility to put this wherever you want it. That works out really well. So this is what the main audio source is for the live streams. This is a pretty neat controller. It's called a Stream Deck. It's what I use to actually control the stream. It has a cool screensaver with my race car on it right now. If I click any button, I have all of the controls to actually control what is being shown on the live stream. So up here I have all of these buttons kind of just set up to do exactly what I want them to do. I can turn the stream on and off. Down here, this is my pre-stream opener, so when I'm like rolling the ads and my coupon codes and all that stuff that you guys are seeing, I'm just having this button clicked. Then I can switch it to my title sequence here. If I want to show my main camera, which is the one up on the tripod over here, I click that button right there. Over here is the wide angle GoPro. That would be the GoPro that's sitting behind me. Of course, if I just want to show the tree, I would click this button. Here I have the 3 camera scene, which I use quite a bit. If I'm doing a Zoom call with someone else, I have the Zoom split screen set up there. Of course, the post-stream closer, these are my ads at the end. And then I can set up any other button that I want. For example, sponsors, if I want to shout out Portatree, I just click this button and have all my sponsors set up here. So if I'm talking about somebody that I really want to give a shout out to, I have all of that queued up and ready to go right here. The streaming software that I use is called OBS. This is kind of what it looks like, although there's actually a whole pile of scenes that I have set up here, so it's actually pretty complicated. I won't really get into it in this video because that would just honestly take forever, but that's basically how everything works, and then everything comes together on the stream, and it looks something like this. This is what a 3-camera scene would look like on the stream. We have a lot of fun doing these streams, and you guys seem to enjoy them too. But that's kind of the software side. Hardware side, Portatree side, pretty much covered everything except lighting, and there's a lot of that too, but again, we're not going to get into that today. This video has been brought to you by Portatree. Go and check out portatree.com if you guys are looking to sharpen your skills during the off season and all year round. Portatree.com has what you guys need to do just that. Tabletop practice trees, pocket-sized practice trees, and of course, the national event-sized practice trees. Everything is available over at Portatree.com. Do not forget to utilize discount code GallStar5. Save yourself some coin, 5% off at checkout. That is Portatree.com. Links down in the description. If you have any questions at all about this setup, feel free to leave a comment down below or jump onto one of my live streams. We live stream every single Saturday. That's happening over at the GallStar TV Facebook page. Links in the description to that. Go and give that page a like. We've been having all kinds of fun on the live streams, hitting the practice tree. We've been having all kinds of cool guests, and we're giving away a lot of prizes over there too, so you definitely don't want to miss out on all of those live streams. A ton of fun. That is going to wrap up another video. If you guys like this video, please do not forget, this means everything to me, whomp on the like button. If you dislike this video, you can whomp twice on the dislike button. Visit the GallStar TV swag shop to support the creation of more videos just like this one. I'm out, wrapping it up. See you in the next one. Later. I asked Seth pre-show, I said, when you hit a trip zip light, that's when I give a t-shirt away to someone. You know what he said? He said, you might not have enough t-shirts. He said, you ain't gonna have enough t-shirts for that. You're gonna need to get more t-shirts if you're gonna give one away every single time the Juice Box Heroes trip zip on a tree.